Hey, what's going on, guys and gals, and welcome back to yet again another video. It's felt like it's been quite a bit of time since I've done a video, but in reality it's only been like almost a week. But yeah, a lot has changed. As you guys can see, I have a brand new haircut, you know the vibes. But today's video is going to be an SMG tier list. Now here we are. Here's the tier list. You guys already know the rankings. We got S, A, B, C, and D. I did take out one tier, and that was like the F tier, because I felt like there were some tiers that were kind of like missing, you know, like I didn't really put too many guns on some other tiers last time. So, you know, D being the worst is really not that bad, because I could make another tier and just separate it, you know what I'm saying? Who knows what I do during this video, you know, but it is what it is. We're gonna start off with the first gun here, and the first gun that we have up is none other than the Uzi. Another thing I gotta address here, last time I did a tier list was on the ARs, and I had every single AR blue diamond, and that was because I was trying to get like a clean screenshot of all the ARs, so I just went to the camos and picked a random one, and I just so happened to pick blue diamond, and that's literally just what happened. So yeah, if you see every SMG with Damascus gold, I actually do have SMGs Damascus gold. You know, there's a video on it, go check it out. But yeah, you already know how this tier list works. We're gonna go off of how much fun I have with all these guns and stuff like that. This is not supposed to be like what is the best and what is the worst, you know. This is just what I personally have fun with and what personally I don't have fun with. Without further ado, let's go ahead and place this Uzi. Where am I going to place this Uzi, man? I really do like the Uzi. It's a lot of fun to use. It's also a little bit leaning on the more OP side of things, so I'm not too keen on using this thing too much, but I will say I will put the Uzi in A tier. I do like it. It's very, very good. And it's also just it's ridiculous. It's just a good gun all around, you know, with the builds you could do on it and everything. Like, it's a really solid weapon and very fun. Next up here we have the UMP, or the UMP as some people like to call it. Now the UMP, man, this is going to be a little controversial, because I know some people are going to be like, bro, there ain't no way you're about to put that in that tier. And by me just saying that already, you already know where this is going. Me personally, man, I'm gonna put this thing in C tier. I was thinking about putting it in D tier, but the only reason why I didn't put it in D tier is because, you know, the 10-round magazine with the folded stock, you know, the full mobility build. You guys know what I'm talking about. That is really fun on this gun. This gun overall, man, I don't really have that much fun with the UMP. I don't know, or the UMP, whatever you want to call it. It's like, it's a solid weapon. Of course it is, you know, it's solid, but I don't know what it is, man. I just can't get around to using it. Next up on the list, we have here the Tommy gun. Oh yeah, some of these are going to have the legendary skins as well. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, this is the Tommy gun. Where am I going to place the Tommy gun? Probably gonna place this thing in D tier. I don't know, like, to me it just isn't that fun, you know. Like, it's not as fun as other SMGs in the game. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it's a good gun. It's really, really good. If I had to place this thing somewhere in terms of, you know, how good it is, I'd probably place it in somewhere like between like B and A. I don't think it's S tier, but I definitely think it's in between that B and A sort of, you know, margin. But yeah, definitely Tommy gun D tier. I think that's a good tier to place it for sure. Next up, we have here the Sten Gun, ladies and gentlemen, the Sten Gun. Where am I gonna place the Sten Gun, man? The Sten Gun is gonna be a little tough, I think. Nah, I'm just kidding with you. The Sten Gun's S tier, bro. Come on now, that's our first S tier, baby. Sten Gun is S tier. That's just simply it, man. Like, this gun has the 7.62 conversion on it, which absolutely slaps. And it's actually really, really fun to use too. So for that reason, I'm putting the you know, Sten in S tier. There is literally no other way I'm putting this in any other order. That's literally S tier for sure. Next up, we have here the SM03, man. The SM03 used to be the top gun in Bad Business, the #1 gun. If you didn't use this gun, you were gonna get melted, destroyed, absolutely eviscerated. But now this gun kind of fell off. It's not really like used by too many people, but it's still not too bad of a gun if you know how to use it right. Me personally, I don't really use it because I don't have that much fun with it, and just because of that reason alone, I don't really have too much fun with it. And you know, it's just whatever to me. It's not really like a gun that I'd use. It's just kind of a gun to fill a slot in my eyes. I'm putting the SM03 in D tier. I know some people are gonna hate me for that. I understand, but like, you gotta level with me here, man. The thing's not as fun as others. Next up, we have here the Scorpion Evo, man. Where am I gonna place the Evo on this list? Evo, I mean, I can't even like say too much about it. I mean, the gun is solid overall. The builds you could do on it is so good. The irons on it is so clean to use. The model of it is amazing. There's so many things you can do on the Scorpion and actually make it extremely fun, and for that reason I have to place this thing in A tier. I think if I were to place this thing any lower, it would just be an insult to this thing, you know? Yeah, Scorpion overall, it's got to be like one of the better SMGs in the game, like no doubt about it in my mind. Next up here, we have a gun that I don't think a lot of people are gonna expect this, especially out of me, but we have here the SBR9. Now, some people hate this gun, some people love this gun, and some people are kind of indifferent about it. Me, I fall in line in the people that love this gun. I honestly don't know any other SMG on this list that's in there right now, maybe except for the Sten, that is way more fun than the SBR. So I'm gonna place this thing in S tier. That should just go to show you how much fun the SBR is. If you haven't used it yet, you have to use this thing, man. I don't think I've ever done a best setup on the SBR9, but if I haven't, man, I might do one just because of how good it is, and I actually have an excuse to use it for a video. So, you know, if you guys want that video, let me know down in the comments. Next up we have here is the PP Bison. Why is this thing so much smaller than every other gun? This thing is not revamped. I barely use it, but when I do use it, I do have a little bit of fun. It's not like the craziest thing in the world, but it is an overall decent weapon, I will say. And since it is a decent weapon, I'm going to be putting it in B tier. It's our first B tier gun. And again, when I place these guns in these tiers, I just got to quickly preface this again for anyone who's wondering. This is not a tier list about what guns are better than others. These are just guns that I personally enjoy more over others. So the PP Bison, I have more fun with it with any of these guns underneath it, but definitely have way more fun with like the Uzi, the Scorpion, the SBR9, the Sten over the Bison any day of the week, and I think a lot of you can agree. Next up on the list we have here is the P90. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. The P90 for me is strictly something, if I have a bad day with aiming, I'm gonna use the P90. I don't think this gun is necessarily the greatest gun in the game. I don't think it's the worst gun in the game either, but it's definitely not something that I would personally use over some guns on this list. I don't have too much fun with it, but like I said, it is a pretty good gun and it is decent. It does help me warm up my aim whenever I am playing, and you know, for that reason I gotta place this thing in C tier. Like I said, I don't have too much fun with it overall. Like, it's not the most fun SMG on this list by any means, but it's definitely not the worst either. But you know, like I said, I use it more for an aim trainer if anything. Next up here we have the MP7. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys, I know how much the MP7 is beloved. It's literally my favorite Black Ops 2 weapon. This is not Black Ops 2. This is Bad Business. And don't get me wrong, it's a great weapon. It's okay and all, but to me, it's so good to the point that it just feels cheap. Does that make sense? Like, I like using a gun that actually has a little bit of challenge in it, or like something that'll make it more fun. It's just the MP7, man. Like, this thing is just so ridiculous that I just don't really have that much fun with it. I'm pretty sure it's like #1 SMG in the game right now. I'm not too sure. I mean, I don't know anything about meta in this game. I really don't. I don't pay attention to that stuff. Maybe some of you guys can comment below about it. I don't know. But yeah, like, I'm kind of tempted. Like, I'm definitely not putting it in B tier. I kind of want to put it either in C or D tier. I'm not sure yet. It's got to be somewhere in the middle, man. I don't know. I will say mobility build on this thing is pretty fun, so I'll place this thing in C tier. There we go. MP7 C tier. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. After the MP7, we have another one from the MP line, which is the MP5, baby. Look at this thing, man. MP5. Oh my god. If you know me, you know where this is going straight off the bat, all right? I ain't even got to say anything. Look at this thing. Boom. There we go. S tier. Easy S tier. Not only is the MP5 extremely good and extremely viable in the game, but it is so much fun. I think I did like a viewer setups one time on the MP5. I forget the exact setup I had on it. I think it was no recoil. I don't remember too much. You guys can go check that video out for yourselves. But that setup, like, I remember having a blast with it, and that was a setup I never even thought to use on the MP5. Then I have a setup that I normally use, which is like I just go out and slay and like a bunch of people with it or whatever. And then there's like other setups that like I've seen people use. Like, I just watched one of Ruby's videos recently. What they did was they made the MP5 meta setup from like Modern Warfare 2, and like it even slapped with that, you know. So the MP5 being so versatile and like it's so much fun. It really is. You can slap any attachments on this thing, make any build you want. You could put an IR scope, and I bet you this thing will still be viable. So yeah, MP5 S tier, I ain't even upset at that. I'm fine with that. Next up here we have the Vector, man. The Vector. The Vector used to be one of those hidden gems in the game. A gun that nobody used. A gun that I really loved at 1.2 because I did a hip fire setup on it and it was insane, which I kind of want to do an updated video on that. We'll see what happens. Definitely not a bad idea. But yeah, you know, the Vector is really good. It's fun. It's not the craziest thing in the world either, but I do have fun whenever I use it. But it just shreds, bro. This thing shreds and it feels kind of cheap. So I think I'm going to put the Vector in B tier, man. I definitely don't have more fun with this gun than I do any of these guns above it. So I think, yeah, I think B tier is definitely a good spot considering what guns are above it for sure. Next up, we have the FMG. The FMG doesn't have a revamp. It's pretty good with its hip fire accuracy. It's not the greatest gun in the world. It's not the worst gun in the world. But I definitely don't have too much fun with it overall. But I don't really use it too much either. So it's kind of hard to place this thing. Like, I definitely do want to either place it B or C, but I think I'm gonna place this thing in C tier. Yeah, it's just kind of like I said, like I just don't have too much fun with the FMG like that. It's definitely not a bad gun or anything. It's just not like one of the greatest things I've ever used. Like it doesn't outshine any of the guns that's above it. But like then again, I kind of want to put it in the same tier as PP Bison at the same time, because PP Bison I think of the same way as the FMG. So I think I might honestly move this to, yeah, you know what? I'll move it to B tier. My bad, man. Here you go. You're in B tier now. Just upgraded just like that, bro. Just like that. And now for the gun everyone's probably been waiting for, if you main this gun or not. We have here the AUG A2. Now this is the AUG. Everyone knows the AUG, man. Where am I gonna place the AUG, man? This has got to be one of the most beloved guns in the game. Everyone loves this thing. It's not revamped. It's extremely good, extremely viable in its current meta and everything like that. You see it almost every single day whenever you press play on Bad Business. But for me, man, personally, I'm gonna place this thing in B tier. Nah, I'm kidding, man. It's definitely an A. I'm just kidding. It's D tier. Dude, every single AUG main is going to hate me. We have a brand new SMG coming out, so this is why I figured, you know what, let's make the SMG tier list now before this SMG comes in, because I don't want to have to, you know, sit here and be like, oh, I have to wait a little bit before I do a tier list on it. Like, no, let's just get this out of the way, and then whenever more SMGs come in, we can include it then and there. I don't really see myself using that SMG too much, so, you know, I don't think I'm gonna be too crazy about it. At least I'm pretty confident that that gun's going to be an SMG. I don't know if it is or not, actually. A lot of questions on my mind now. I don't know. I haven't really been too caught up with Bad Business lately. I haven't really been paying attention too much, so you guys may know more than I do on this. But yeah, like I said, this is my list. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you change about it? If you guys want to share your own personal tier list, what you would change about it and stuff like that, I will leave in the description down below. I'll say it again in the description. Go ahead, click it, make your own tier list, join my Discord, and put it in the media tab. Go ahead and, you know, and share your opinions on the overall SMG list in the game right now. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching again, and I will talk to all you beautiful, beautiful people on the next one. Later. Peace.